Good morning and happy Thursday. Today I'm going to be trying something new for breakfast. I'm still trying to work on finding a really lean protein that's high in protein but not super high in fat, because the diet that I need to try to be on, I need to increase the amount of protein. I'm not nearly hitting it, and surprisingly, it's a lot harder than I originally thought. So I tried maybe some sausages, and they were great in protein, but they weren't that great in fat. And I'm not a huge breakfast eater, so it's been a little bit of a struggle for me. Today, I am going to try one of our leaner cuts of the steak that we get from Moequa, because we are getting a cow in the next week and a half, and we haven't finished the rest of it. So I'm going to take one of our larger steaks and I'm going to chop it up and maybe have about 3 ounces of steak. And I know that probably doesn't sound like very much, but honest to Betsy, in the morning it's just hard for me to get a lot of food in. I'm just not wake up or anything. And I've also noticed this is a little bit of a struggle for my son Colton. When he wakes up in the morning, he's kind of the same way. He's kind of like, I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry. So I was wondering if this is a struggle for anybody else. When they wake up, you have to eat a lot for breakfast, because they say eat like a king in the morning, a prince, and then a pauper in the evening. But is this a struggle for anybody else to wake up and not eat the breakfast? I know that some of my middle school students, when we give away the breakfast at school, they'll take like one or two things, or they'll have something small, but they're the same way, so they're not hungry. So I didn't know if that was going on with anybody else, but today's breakfast, we will see how the steak goes, if I can get it all down and make it work. We survived our first week of all three of us doing virtual learning. So it is lunchtime right now. I am going to leave my office, which was the couch with that chair. Sophia is finishing up her assignment, which her office is right over here on the floor. Colton is done with his work. His office was all the way downstairs, so we have all three of us in 3 separate rooms. Sorry, the water was running. And we are finally done with virtual learning for the day. So we are going to move on to lunchtime. To all you parents out there who are doing virtual learning, I feel you. I understand. It is a struggle. Just know that you are doing what's right for your kids, and it is kudos from a teacher to parents. Virtual learning is not how we intended to teach, and it's not how students should be learning. But those of you that are trucking through it every single day, congratulations. It is going to be something new. We are on our way, Colton and I, to pick up Sophia. Something I wanted to get on here and share is that school has never been Sophia's strength, and it's been a little bit of a concern for us as parents. And so we had been in conversation with our other teachers, other friends, and other educators, and we had recently come up with a decision, both Chad and I, to get her some testing for dyslexia. Now, in all my years of education and experience, I have worked with special ed students, special needs students, extreme needs students, from the gambit of special ed. And I've never really worked with anyone who's had a lot of training or a lot of talks with dyslexia as a reading disability. But one of the parents of the swim team where I coach was able to share some information with me, and I wanted to share it here because I don't think it's something that's widely talked about. But we are in the process of getting her screened to see if this is kind of like she fits the profile, and if it's something that could be beneficial, because as educators, myself included, we are always willing to work with parents when they have help and they come and talk to us, but having that open line of communication is really, really important. So I'm really excited to go pick her up from her. There's two 1-hour screenings that they do where they ask a whole bunch of questions in addition to parent interviews and information. And so it's not something that's like, oh, we saw you one time, whoa, you're dyslexic. And I'm really, really excited to hear this report, read this report, not just as obviously Sophia's parents or her mom, but I'm also really, really excited to read about it as an educator, to see what kind of information, like if there's stuff that they say or they talk about that I'm like, ooh, I could use that with maybe some of my students. And so I posted this on here because we have a family member who was given the label of dyslexic, but there was nothing that was done for them. And it was back in the early 90s. And after doing some serious research into this disability, I'm like, I wonder if this is something that I had when I was younger and something that I had struggled with, and I learned how to just kind of with a coping mechanism. So I'm really, really excited to hear how it went and how she did on it. But I wanted to put that out there because it's one of the disabilities that does severely impact students' reading and students sometimes even in their math and other subjects, but it's not something that's openly talked about. So I would love if you have any experience or knowledge or have had maybe yourself with dyslexia to comment or to share something that Chad and I are going to about, just like I said, start this journey or not start this journey. Could come back that she doesn't fit the profile and then we're back to square one. But I would love to see if anybody out there has experience with that or can shed any light or knowledge on the subject. All right, so we finally got home from swim team and we've come and joined Mr. Grumpy Pants Chad. Hi.
Hi.
Chad did not have a very good day at work today, so we are going to do some cheering up. And I thought the best way to cheer him up would be to play something on Netflix that has been popping up into my feed for the past week. It is a new series out. It's about 20 minutes. I think there's 7 episodes, and it's called The History of Swearing. So I think this might be really funny, or it might be really terrible. What do you think?
Well, let's hope it's good because I did enough swearing today.
But now you could know.
Episode, sure.
But now you could know the history of all the words that you're saying.
Okay.
And I was a history minor in college, so history fascinates me. And I think this will be really funny because it reminds me of that Comedy Central show, Drunk History. Have you ever seen that one?
I did not see it.
Oh, it's really funny. These people get plastered and then tell you the history, but then they, instead of saying it like correctly, they use like made up words, and we're going to watch that next. So we are going to watch Netflix, The History of Swearing, and we will be back with a review. And I think this first episode is the F word, and it's not fun. Do you know what the history of that word is?
I can maybe guess, but I'm not going to say it.
I have no idea. And I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Okay.
All right, let's find out. All right, episode 1 was kind of funny.
Yeah. Can't really talk too much about it, though, because it's a bad word.
Words in it. It did talk about the most swear words of that word in a movie, and I knew that one. I won't say it in case somebody else wants to watch it. But I did not know, and I may have to Google this, the actor who swears the most, the top 5. I was blown away by the top 3.
Yeah, I know that the top 3, the top number 1 was surprising. Top 2 and 3,
1 and 2.
2 and 3 made sense.
But he wasn't even number 2. He was number 3.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. The history of the word was pretty interesting. So it was a really good show, but I definitely think it was 20 minutes. It was super quick. Kids were upstairs playing video games, and I definitely think we're going to have to watch a couple more episodes. So it is Netflix.
Just got to get the kids out of the way. If you all have kids,
no,
you can't have the kids around. You got to send them to bed.
Gotta send them to bed. Gotta be after time.
Mm-hmm.
So History of Swearing, Netflix original.
Okay, it seems like we're back in our rut of nothing to do. We have no plans on our calendar. Can't get outside. So finding content's going to be hard to do. We're still going to try, though. So we'll sign off tonight. I forgot to show you our meatloaf that we had for dinner. We have some great meatloaf. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, don't feed your gremlins meatloaf after midnight.